Alright, so this playing card, I'm just gonna put it in the side for now. And let me show you here the deck of playing cards is completely mixed. And very quickly, let me give it a quick shuffle. Okay, so you don't think there is any setup. And this blue card, I'm gonna give it to the spectator so they can put this little corner anywhere inside the deck of playing cards. Okay, now let's say they put it right there. It is a free choice. I'm gonna move this card away. Now they pick this time the King of Hearts. So I'm gonna put it a little bit out, about halfway out. Okay, so it doesn't have to be exactly halfway out, but it's just better for you to see. And this card, I'm gonna put it right above, but you still can see the selection. Okay. Now by sliding my nail right above, your selection will be split. Look carefully. And that's it. I'm gonna put it back together once again. And at this point, the spectator can examine their selection and the blue card as well. Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to teach you the performance, then I'm going to teach you how you can make one of these gimme cards. Okay, this is all you need, a card with a flap. Okay, so this is the one that is going over the king. And then I will explain why you need this specific deck of playing cards. Now this is the preparation. What you need is a regular card, and you can place a rectangle or a circle. Okay, but you need to allow at least ½ centimeter to the center. Don't go all the way to the center of the card. And another ½ centimeter to the center of this other side. Okay, so allow ½ centimeter both ways, the same as this rectangle over here. Or you can use circles. You can use a coin and just cut it around, but it has to be from this right corner when it's from the front and this left side corner when it's from the back, because you may end up doing it in the opposite corners. Now you need to force this top card to the spectator. There are so many other ways you can do it. Anyway, the way I did it, I already explained this in another video. Just go to this video footnote on the link number 1. Now the flap must be towards me. Make sure it's not the other way around. Now when I give this card for examination, the spectator gets distracted. Then I move this flap right over the forced card. There are so many ways you can do it. The way I did it in this performance is with the use of my belly right here. I move my hand this way to flip this flap over the force card, and this is how it ends. Now let's assume you are using a table. You can use the surface of the table, place this corner and move this flap right over. But be aware that you have to move the hand completely away. Don't keep it an angle, because they can see from above, from the bottom, or from the front. And if you have a little tiny pinky break, as I did it in the performance as well, it's easier for the surface to contact that flap and flip it over, okay, in the process. Anyway, as soon as they give you this card, just put it right above, and they still can see the selection, and you just proceed to move this card to the side. Now these are the things you need to be aware, because the way this flap is built, this is a rounded corner. It's supposed to be a sharp corner right here. And over here you can see a little discrepancy on the corner. So you just place this thumb right over this edge, okay, of the flap, so they don't see this rounded corner and this little corner over here. So when you start doing this performance, you need to be aware that this edge of the rectangle of the blue card don't go beyond, so you don't expose the normal king. Just go up to there. My ring finger is right here contacting this side of this hand, about there. So when I push, I don't separate these two cards. These two cards, the normal king and the blue card, they being pushed by the ring finger right here, so they remain square the entire time. Okay, you slide it away, and when you push it back with the ring finger. And when you finish, move the hand away completely and push the flap over. Okay, like this and spin up front, so it looks natural. So for a performance, this is it. Now let's see how to build one of these gimme cards. So to do one of these gimme cards, I highly recommend you to use the red cup or the B over any other deco playing cards, mainly because of the design. The pattern is really confused. The red cup and this one, the B. I don't really recommend you to use any other deck like this regular standard deck, because this flap will create a crease, okay, and the crease will become white. With an overuse, about 2 or 3 times you use it, that's gonna be enough to create a white line. And the reason I'm using the red cup for the gimme card over the B is because these are gonna be easier to restore the color. With a red Sharpie, I can paint the creases just on the red part. I'll show you later. And that is gonna make it easier to restore the white crease to the right color. You cannot paint these ones. This is really difficult because of the pattern. So the way to make this gimme card, you need 3 cards from the deck you're going to use. For example, I'm gonna use the duplicate from another deck. I'm gonna use this Jack of Hearts from the red cup, and you can get any other duplicate from any other deck of playing cards. The duplicate from these deck of playing cards is gonna stay intact. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do with the other Jack. I need to cut it exactly in half. Okay, so you have to be extremely careful. I'm gonna cut this Jack of Hearts exactly in half from the short side, okay? So since these cards are 3.5 inches, I'm gonna place it right there, and then I'm gonna put a tiny mark at 1.75 inches, right there with a pencil, and then verify it again by measuring from this opposite side to see if the mark ends up right in the middle. The same thing right here. Now, since the standard size is 3.5 inches from this long side, I'm gonna put a little mark at 1.75 inches, 1 3/4 of an inch. And then you can verify it again by spinning the card and measuring it again to see if it ends up in the same spot. So it has to be exactly in half. So you can either cut it with a scissors or with an X-Acto knife. So we end up with 2 clean pieces, okay? Now put them together and see if they are exactly in half. You can use this other one for a second gimme card. So what we need to do over here, I'm gonna remove the back of this Jack of Hearts, which I already have a tutorial how to do that. Just go to the video footnote to watch how to do gaff cards, which is the basics, and that's gonna be in the video footnote on the link number 2. Okay, so once you already have peeled off the back, just the back of this half of the Jack of Hearts, we are going to use another card, any different card, doesn't matter, from this same red cup deck, and then I'm gonna do again another mark, exactly in half, okay, from both sides, so you just watch with the Jack of Hearts. Now in this case, I'm not gonna cut the card, I'm just gonna pass the blade about 2 or 3 times, okay? You need to do a decent pressure to cut about a half of the card. Now it's not that complicated, just don't put a lot of pressure. Do it really slightly, okay? And you have to cut about half of the card. And the reason I'm using the X-Acto knife to cut the card about halfway down instead of just folding the card like this is because if you just fold the card and you don't do it with a blade, as I just did it with this card, it's gonna give you a huge crease right here. And that's gonna be extremely visual, extremely obvious. So you don't want just to fold the card like that, okay? Because the crease is huge and it's too visible. And to minimize the crease, that's why I cut about halfway down. So the card is less thick, and when you fold it, you pretty much fold in just the paper or the back of this card. Okay, so the crease is really small. You can barely tell the crease over here. So from here, you need to remove the cardboard and the paper from this card. Again, if you don't know how to do it, just go to the video footnote so you can watch the video and learn how to do gaff cards. Okay, so as you can see, I have just the paper. Alright, and here I have the paper and the cardboard of this second piece. Or it can be backwards, but it's better if you just keep the paper in this whole piece, so it's thinner and the more thinner it will create, the less crease. So right here we are going to use rubber cement to glue these jack-o' hearts just like so. So as you can see, I already have a rubber cement on both pieces. Here you have to be careful when you put them. The next step is you need to round the corner. You can just use a scissors, but since I already have this corner rounder, I'm gonna place it right here. From here, just put it on the card press and leave it there for about an hour. So the next, you need an indifferent card, once again, a third card. Some card that you think you ain't gonna use, it's not that important. If you have the Joker, that's fine. In this case, I'm going to use this card. And when you finish with this gimme card, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to apply this stick glue on this other half of the card. You can use any other glue. This one doesn't cause wrinkles. Then I'm going to place it right there. And there you have the gimme card complete. Now, once you already have this card complete, you can leave it overnight in the card press once again, so it is completely flat and dry. And one last thing we need to fix, which I already mentioned in this tutorial, is the crease. Okay, it creates a white line, and to minimize it as much as possible, I'm gonna use this Sharpie red color and paint the cup. Just the cup. I'm not gonna paint the white areas. Okay. Now, after you finish painting the red cups, if you put it back on the card press, don't just put it in the middle of the deck. It's better for you to use a white sheet of paper and put it right above. Otherwise, the ink is going to stain the card from above this gimme card. And this is why I prefer the red cup, because it's easier to paint the cups over any other card design. Now, you can also use the B. These are easy to paint right in the diamonds. Just get a Sharpie, so you can paint right in the middle of the diamonds, wherever the crease is gonna end. But in this case, since the diamonds are really small, I'm gonna be a bit more difficult to paint right in the middle. But that's gonna be up to you. These are the two card designs that I prefer the most to conceal the crease over any other design. So I hope you like it.